But the police had to be called to the father's home. I have this part two. Part one, I ended with the TPO, right? You're an average individual. You didn't go to law school, and you have an attorney and the police telling you file a TPO to protect your child from the other parent because he has literally put his hands on the child and done things in front of two cops that are a cause of concern for the child's safety. The child is saying, I don't want to be with the dad. I don't want to go over there to his house. I'm scared to go to school because he's going to pick me up from school and I don't want to go. And I do it, and then all of a sudden, I'm the average person now, and somehow I'm doing something wrong. I literally told AVLF, or whatever the acronym is for that department, the agency, I said, I have an open modification case going. Judge Williams is the judge presiding over the case. However, the police and my attorney advised me to file a TPO. January 5th, the father grabs my child, puts his hands on him, blocks the doorway, trying to keep him from leaving. We had a court order from our divorce that had been in place for 3 years with joint legal and physical custody, 50-50 parenting time with the exchange occurring every other Friday for 7 days. So Friday, my kids came home. They were supposed to be with me till this Friday based on the previous order that has now been changed based on false allegations of favoritism, me being combative with a judge, which is absolutely absurd when I can't even hear you in a hearing, Judge Brenner. I couldn't even hear what you were saying on November 13th. I have evidence on all this stuff, and yet Judge Williams doesn't want to hear any of this stuff. I've been denied due process. I have filed motions and pleadings and have not had the opportunity to state my case in front of a judge in a court in the United States of America. You deny someone due process. You never allow them to address a motion they have. You expect them to be okay with the idea or concept of the other parent saying, not only do I want y'all to take custodial rights away, I want their visitation to be supervised based on favoritism and false allegations of harassment, neither of which I can prove or submit evidence to show in a discovery dispute hearing. Neither of the allegations can I produce evidence on, but I still want you to do that anyway for reasons. Reasons. He's soulless, heartless. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about how my kids feel at the end of the day with this. He doesn't care how they're going to perceive him when they get old enough to find out, yeah, this is some buffoonery. Yeah, he's full of crap. Obviously, he doesn't care about the long-term damage, the long-term effect. But never mind that, the judge is more upset at her assuming, because you're still speculating, Your Honor. You speculated that I'm trying to go around you. And instead of you letting me say flat out, how can that be if the police and my attorney tell me to file the TPO? Common sense says, logic says, why would I question the advice coming from the police and my attorney? I didn't go to law school, remember? I don't have court rules memorized in my head. I don't want to. That's not the gift God gave me. I have no temperament for this at all. None. No. I have patience for my children. That's about it. I cannot be an attorney or go to nobody's law school. If I'm caught dead on a law school campus, somebody playing a joke on me and Jesus, y'all know. But the average person, y'all, because this is the burden of civil proceedings, your burden of proof is preponderance, which is met at 51%. That means you need to be 51% convincing. I'm trying to sit here and say, show me evidence of these allegations. They can't do it. Well, simply because they said it and he can afford an attorney, we're going to go with it. Are you kidding? But you want to feel, the judge wants to feel slighted and accuse me of trying to go around her because my attorney at the time and the police department said to file a TPO. And you still, Judge Williams, failed to see the police body camera footage. You hadn't even seen the police body camera footage. This is the epitome of a denial of due process at its finest. From a whole judge that's elected in the United States of America. We're still doing this? You're being biased to where you're not even hiding it. You're not even hiding it. Your JO, your judicial officer, Judge Emily Brenner, that you still have as your JO, because you could just say, you causing too much confusion. No, ma'am, you got to go. You need to go. We're going to take it. We're going to sit you down somewhere. Go be a legal analyst or somewhere. You can't be my judicial officer because you're writing ambiguous orders and you're giving verbal rulings, saying one thing that doesn't match what you put in writing. You're not giving any notice. You should tell the parties, this is what I've changed my mind and decided to do. And give them the opportunity to appeal it. Give them the opportunity to dispute it. Give me the opportunity to bring forth a motion. Because they can't say they did. Where's the court of record? I'm sorry. When you don't have a court of record, and his attorney didn't help at all. I have emails where when I was pro se until December 4th, because this case has been open since June 22nd of last year. From June 22nd, 2023 to December 4th, 2023, I was pro se. And even then, I knew to send out an email to ask for a court reporter. His attorney didn't want to do it. She didn't even respond to emails, but she want to get mad because you got to compel discovery to me now. You're offended by that, but you're not offended at the fact that you can't produce evidence to prove your false allegations, your defamatory petition filed by your client of harassment, favoritism, falsely accusing me of having a warrant for my arrest, saying I failed to maintain employment. I'm sorry, when is an involuntary loss of income a failure? That's beyond my control. A failure implies that I have something to do with that. A layoff due to a reduction in force is not a failure. That has nothing to do with me. That's beyond my control. And here's the thing. A reduction in force means that the employer has decided to reduce their workforce. It always involves more than one person being laid off, unless your company is 6 people total. So if a company decides to reduce their workforce, I'm not the only one being laid off. So what does that say about the other people that got laid off as well? Him and his attorney are so heartless and soulless and evil. I don't care if you see this video on YouTube, because it's who you are. You'd rather see me evicted and not help me pay child support when you make 6 figures, when you get VA benefits for you and the children. You're bringing in income sources from 2-3 different places. Your tax refund checks $8,000-$9,000, and you don't want to pay $400 a month in child support. That math is blowing my mind. Why you in arrears for $400, I will never understand. And you want to be offended because I'm saying he needs an IDO. Y'all need to take it out of his check. This is absolutely absurd. Your child support order for the last 3 years was an amount of $400. And they didn't even want to give me cash. He wanted to pay it in Walmart gift cards, which is not lawful. It's not a lawful payment method. It had to be changed. That's the only order that judicial officer has signed that made sense. The only one. She had to change the payment method for child support, because Walmart gift cards is not an enforceable payment method. It's not legal. Had I known this when I had that mediation 3 years ago, first of all, the judge probably should have never even signed that order, seeing that payment method in there, and said, nope, y'all need to come back and change that because that's not lawful. Excuse me, I would have never done it. Mind you, I didn't go to law school. I'm not an attorney. Being pro se is not easy to do. You got to read court rules and case law and laws and statutes and all this stuff. But that's what's happened. You forced me to have to read that stuff. You forced me to have to learn these things. Just like I knew I have the right to an appeal. I want an appeal because this needs to go above Judge Shamila Williams at this point. You're not going to give me due process and let me present a motion. Why are you presiding over the case? Why are you feeling slighted? You should be like, you know what? Y'all go on somewhere. Get out my courtroom. Bye. Take that on up to the next level. You giving me a headache. Bye. Thank you. It's fine. I don't have to be the judge of your case. Trust me. It does not hurt my feelings. No, she feels slighted because my attorney and the police department, the South Fulton Police Department, that to come out to a call where they recorded the father grabbing my son by the arm, scaring the crap out of him, blocking the doorway with his body, trying to keep the kids from leaving during my parental time at that time. Will say, no, they're not leaving. Why you got to come to you? Define lawful commands. And she didn't even see the police camera footage. And you feeling slighted about a TPO petition. When I made it clear to the agency, I had a modification case. Why do you think it came to you, Judge Williams? Because I did tell them that I had an open modification case. Are you kidding? I'm sorry, this case is not about you or your hurt feelings. This is why I don't like working for women. And this sucks to say as a black woman. This is why I don't like working for women. And I have a good manager, actually. And this is why I can't deal with women handling stuff like that. Because your emotions all in the way it is. And you're losing sight as the judge about this case. You already have a stigma about me. You coming at me. Y'all expect me to be okay with the court revoking my custodial rights? Or that this soulless miscreant is asking the court to do that and then have the audacity to say her visitation needs to be supervised. What? When you can't produce evidence of harassment and favoritism. This case is about harassment and favoritism. You couldn't produce a bench warrant order on that false allegation. I'm filing a lawsuit against them, as a matter of fact, because it's the only way. Because that's defamation and libel. You made provable false statements on an affidavit, on legal court documents that attacked my character, that hindered and hurt me from getting potential employment opportunities last year. It took me 8 months to find a job. And your false allegations on legal court documents that are available to the public, that could be FOIA'd. You didn't think about that at all. How you're making it difficult for me to get a job that you're alleging falsely that I am failing to maintain. So you want to sit here and say she's failing to maintain employment when I got laid off due to a RIF, due to a reduction in force, and I wasn't the only one to get laid off. Why y'all being soulless about this? You never mind the other people that got laid off with me. And then you put false statements and accusations on a petition under the penalty of perjury, where you can't produce evidence in a discovery dispute. And you don't think that what employer is going to look at that petition where you're lying flat out, can't produce evidence to cover? Yeah, this is what we want. We want someone that's being accused of having a warrant and blah, blah, blah. Oh, she's failing to maintain employment and she's trying to get a job with us. Are you kidding me? What employer would even think twice about me at that point if they were to see something like that, if they come across something like that? It took a whole lot of prayer and supplication to get the job I have, and I bless God for it. I have no problems or quarrels with my job. Trust me, I don't. But good parents don't want to see their kids go through this. Good parents should not want to see their children distraught. Good parents should not want to drag the other parent through court on endless court battles for dumb reasons to which you can't produce evidence to prove. Especially when I have demanded that discovery in a hearing, a whole discovery hearing. Produce the evidence on these false allegations. And that hearing, because that's the chief judge, she has her own court reporter. That was recorded. There is a court of record on that. There can be a transcript produced from that. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And this judicial officer is only temporary. It shouldn't be at all. First of all, produce evidence to show cause of your accusations. They're baseless, false accusations that are highly defamatory. It's libel. And you did it under the penalty of perjury. See, when you have a case, you don't have to lie. When there's validity in what you're saying, you don't have to lie under the penalty of perjury in a whole petition or in an affidavit, falsely accusing me and my mother of harassing my children. When you have a case, you can produce evidence on that. You don't need to do these lowball tactics. You're just being soulless. You have literally no legal reason to ask a court to revoke my custodial rights and restrict my parenting time and then have it supervised. The devil is a liar, and so are you and your attorney if you think that I will not appeal you all the way to the United States Supreme Courthouse. Because at this point, that is exactly what I'm prepared to do. You see my part 1 video of my child crying, begging, pleading, please don't make me go. You left me with no choice but to appeal you all the way there. I don't care if our ruling is a landmark ruling. Somebody better warn Ketanji Brown Jackson, Chief Justice John Roberts. I'm on the way with Mr. Potato Head. Me and Mr. Potato Head on the way. Brace yourselves. It's about to get dumb. Because this is the dumbest case ever. I am not the petitioner. Let me just state that again. I am not the petitioner. I didn't file for this modification case. I tried to do a TPO with police body camera footage. A police report. My son saying, I don't want to stay with my dad. I don't want to go to school because I don't want him to pick me up. I filed a TPO because I was advised to do it. And my attorney and the police department said, this is the right thing to do. This is what we're advising you to do. It might be your best option. Because the court didn't want to hear my contempt motions. And they don't care that my children are suffering because of it. Because a judicial officer takes the word of an attorney that she's cool with over evidence that does not occur, that doesn't exist. Because the chief judge of Fulton County Superior Court Family Law Division, Shamila Williams, didn't even watch the police body camera footage and is more slighted and upset and offended at the TPO and the idea that you don't go around me. Who said I was? God, I'm not trying. Who got time to do that? I didn't go to law school. I don't care what judge hears the matter. It simply needs to be heard. And it has not been heard. I have so many motions that have not been heard. And then for the ones that I have had heard, where I asked for a copy of that social worker's recommendation, that's in writing. It's a whole report. Yeah, no, it's in writing. That gets denied, but I got to go to the judge's chambers to see it. I get to take pictures of it. How does this go? Are you kidding? Why would I take the word of a judge at this point over me seeing this evidence for myself? Because now I can't trust nobody in this court system. This court has failed me and my kids. And like I told the officer, do you all know how many times judges have been sued? The opposing counsels have been sued. Whole legal systems have been sued because parents like me come to court. We go to the police and say, this is happening to my child. And we get no protection. And when something happens seriously to my kids, then our children lay somewhere hurt or dead, God forbid. And then the court wants to intervene. We didn't know he was capable of doing this. No, you knew. You just didn't care. Because mothers like me have been telling courts like you all, judges like Shamila Williams and Emily Brenner, this is what he's doing to my children. And they did nothing about it. They gave him full custody. They took my parenting time away. My son is begging not to let him go. And they did nothing. And the police officer, poor guy, he said, all I can do is just try to do the best I can with interpreting this stuff to make a decision right now as a mediator, because I'm not the judge. Y'all got to get y'all attorneys on the phone. His attorney called me and had the audacity, Maureen McLeod. You had the audacity to notify me while you cherry pick an order that's already vague and ambiguous. How are you? You've been doing this for over 30 years. You went to law school. How are you not able to say this order is very vague and ambiguous? It's not clear at all. Both of them are going to be confused. One part of it says in one paragraph that the children have the ability to spend the time they want as they desire. And the father has agreed in open court to not interfere with communication with my children because he's taking their phones, saying dumb things to me and hanging up in my face on their devices. Not his phone, their phones. One of which I pay for on my bill, my youngest son. I pay the bill on. And said he should not interfere with their ability to spend time with their mother. And then in the next paragraph, they come home every other Thursday to Sunday. That could start this Thursday. He sitting here saying, oh no, that's for next week. It has no effective date. There's no start date on it, counselor. You went to law school. Why didn't you just say, nope, we need to go back to court on this. We need to go to court on this because this got to be rectified. I don't even know what the judge is asking for. What is she allowing us to do at this point? One paragraph, she says they can spend the time with their mother as they desire, and he can't interfere with that. And in the next paragraph, mother shall have parenting time every other Thursday to Sundays at 5 p.m. Which one is it? Can they spend time with me all they want or not? I get a dinner night with one child one night of the week, and then the other child another night of the week. I gave birth. What are y'all talking about? My kids should be able to come home when they want. We should not need a court to tell us how to be parents. He should not need a court to tell him, you got to pay child support, because that's how math works. He shouldn't need a court to do this. I never filed these petitions. I didn't file the petition for the divorce. I told him I would give it to him because, as I said in the other video, yeah, there are times where you need to use wisdom and just understand when it's just certain people you just not meant to be with at all, definitely not meant to procreate with. And when I realized that, look at this backlash and retaliation. Look how stupid this is getting. When you still can't produce evidence. I don't make threats. I don't. I think that's what they're more upset about. Is because the discovery dispute alone showed that if you just look at this from a logical standpoint as the average person, and you're trying to meet preponderance, 51%, you'll see and understand this has got to be the dumbest modification for custody case ever. You got one child literally crying and said, don't make me go. Don't force me to go. And the other child is like, listen, Dad, he's just not relenting. He's telling us we got to go. He don't even want us to stay tonight. I'm sitting here telling the police, I got the order today. It came to my email today. I checked my email last night. That order was not uploaded in e-filing, e-Tyler, Odyssey, whatever it's called. I didn't get the notification on that yesterday or last night before I went to bed. It came today. I got the date and time stamp. And I went and picked my kids up and saw it. I'm like, I'm not trying to violate anything. But you're sitting here revoking my custody over what? Who's butt hurt here? I don't understand why the judicial officer signed something that we had in a hearing that occurred last year, November 13th, not the 12th. It was November 13th, Judge Emily Brenner. It was not November 12th. So that's not correct. And then it's so ambiguous. You're saying the kids should be able to spend time with the mother as they desire, but here's her parenting time. Are you kidding me? Why am I being told my parenting time is every other Thursday to Sunday, but yet when my children want to spend time with me, he does interfere with it? So I'm sitting here like, the police is like, we typically, it does have a date, or it usually say it's like first or third week, second and fourth week. Fifth week, both parents get fifth week to split it. it's usually more detailed and defined. This is all over the place. I literally just said exactly what it was from one paragraph to another paragraph. Who would not be confused? But you would think an attorney that's been doing this for over 30 years that went to law school would know an ambiguous, very vague order when she sees it. She should have been the one that said, look, I know this thing is weird. I don't even, but how about this? We'll start this order on Thursday, and we got to go back to court. Because I can't we're ignoring one part of the paragraph of the same order, trying to uphold the other part, but then right underneath that, he ain't say nothing about the dinner night once a week, but that's in the order too. Yeah. Why did you even write it, Judge Brenner? Why are you still bothering my case when I filed a 1004 motion for you to be taken off of it? Because you and this attorney want to be buddy friends and you don't know how to remain impartial. Now Judge Williams want to be in her feelings, think I'm trying to go around with a TPO, but when I tell her, I told you, the officers and my attorney advised me to do this. Who would dismiss that advice? When I see my son being handled the way he was in front of 2 cops, and I got police body camera footage that you failed to listen to and watch. My son came to court with me January 8th, wanting to talk to the judge, and she didn't even grant us an ex parte hearing. So when I say that this court has failed me and my children, I mean it. Because I have been begging to talk to this court. I have filed motions to talk to this court, begged for hearings to have this court hear me out. My son has asked to come to court with me to talk to this same judge. And she's too busy trying to feel slighted. A whole chief judge in a court in the United States of America where we have a constitution feels slighted. So I'm not going to care about your case at all because you're trying to go around me and undermine me. How do you not have any confidence in yourself? What is going on? What are you talking about? The police and my attorney told me to file this. And I told the agency that did the petition for me, AVLF, I have an open modification case. How does that go? Well, more than likely, the judge that's over your case is going to want to hear it. Fine. I don't care who hears it. Your Honor, I don't care if you heard it or another judge heard it. It just needed to be heard, and you denied me and my son that ex parte hearing. The opportunity for my son to talk to you, and in the state of Georgia, he's old enough to talk to you without the parent. He wanted to, and you ignored us. So like I told that police officer, if something happens to my kids, it's going to be on the heads of you, your judicial officer, the other parent, and by God, he better leave this planet. He does something to my children. He abuses my son. He hurts him. He does anything to him that I've already seen him do. That was recorded on police body camera footage. Disturbing allegations. Nobody wants to hear my allegations that my son can tell you himself, which he wanted to do January 8th, Judge Shamila Williams. My son wanted to tell you himself on January 8th that his father has raised his fist to punch him over slicing pie. Because he sliced pie too big. He told me and the police officer that prepared the police report from January 8th. My dad raised his fist to me and he said he was going to punch me because I cut a slice of pie too big. My son tried to tell you that himself and you didn't even give us an ex parte hearing. This is why people come to the internet. This is why people upload videos when things happen, because we're trying to go the right route. We're trying to do it the right way. And it doesn't get heard until something got to go viral. Cases got to go viral. Videos got to go viral in order for it to get some attention. In order for it to raise an eyebrow. Like, this is very disturbing. Judge is more upset of thinking, assuming she's trying to go around her. How? How can I go around you when I made it clear to AVLF that I had an open modification case and that you were the judge on the case? How can I go around you when I communicated that to them? Did you give me the opportunity to tell you that? No, you did not. Because in that TPO petition hearing, and I just recall your memory to it being recorded, pull your court of record. The moment I said, my attorney advised, and you cut me off. How is that due process when you won't even let somebody talk? So if you feel offended about my video, I pray to God it go viral. Then it's your fault. Then you should not be in your feelings about it. Because you didn't want to hear us when we came to the courthouse to talk to you in an ex parte hearing. My son was willing to speak with you one-on-one. He's 11 years old. He's very articulate. He knows when he doesn't want to go to his dad's house, just like the day y'all seen in the first video, part 1. And him crying and bawling his eyes out, begging, please don't make me go. They know what they want. They're old enough. That's why we have state statutes and laws regarding elections. Starting at 11, a child can make a decision. It's all about how it's ruled on. I still have the right to go to court and say, here's why my oldest son's affidavit should be denied. Because the dad gets angry, goes get volatile, and I got to get police body camera footage. I'm begging this court to help. However, Judge Williams, I don't care if you heard the hearing or not. We wanted you to hear us. We asked you to do that. We filed a petition for you to do that. My son was there with me, scared and afraid to go to school. And you ignored us because you're too busy feeling slighted. What the world is going on, lady? You are old enough to take care of yourself. My son is 11, caught up in a stupid custody battle that my children have no reason being caught up in because the petitioner, their father, can't even produce evidence to show cause of harassment and favoritism, which is all they got at this point. And when I say give me evidence to justify this case in a discovery dispute hearing, guess what? Well, we don't have that. We can't show that. Why? Why am I here? Why are we here? Why are we here? You two need to grow up and get a clue. Go find something to do. I pray to God that their father gets remarried and has 3 more kids so he can leave me the hell alone. Leave me alone. Leave my children alone. You're dragging me to court for what? I don't care what you have. You could gain the riches of this world and still lose your soul. If you have one. Because I don't think you do. You're soulless. You're heartless. You don't care about these children. You never did. If you cared, you wouldn't even keep dragging us through court, let alone discussing the case details with them, telling them what the social worker and you discussed, telling them what you and your attorney discussed. There's your attorney-client privilege out the window. You're sending text messages to our oldest son. Here's what I said to my attorney today. Here's what the social worker told the guy at the courthouse, the social worker. Here's what he said today. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Now I have no reason to feel any fear or afraid about me doing this video. Why should I? Why? Because I've been begging this court to hear me out without videos, and they don't care. So they got to be put on blast and embarrassed, I guess, in these United States of America. We have a whole U.S. court that refused to hear out an 11-year-old, but when these kids turn up hurt, abused, dead, locked in basements, attics, chained, house of horrors. How many times are we seeing that crap? House of horrors, kids get abused, kids get starved to death. How many times do we have to see those headlines? How many times do we have to see those news reportings? Guess what? They had a whole legal court system. They had a defects. They had a social worker to get notified. Judges being notified of what's going on, and they got ignored. The justice system didn't care. The judges didn't care. The opposing party they definitely don't care. They only care about winning. Because reasons. Your over 30-year attorney went to law school, though, and you can't say when the order is ambiguous and vague and downright confusing. We should be having a whole final hearing coming up soon. Why would y'all sign a temporary anything? That could still by law be converted into a permanent hearing, to a permanent order. That's a whole court rule in a law. So if Judge Williams still want to be in her feelings, she can say, you know, I'm going to make that temporary order a permanent one. I don't care what you have to say. I don't care about your complaints. I don't care about your children crying, not wanting to go with their dad. I don't care about none of that. I don't care if you have police body camera footage. I don't care if you've been crying out for help. I don't care if your attorney and the police advise you to get a TPO against him because he can't stop violating court orders, even though he understands the importance of following direct orders because he was in the military. I don't care about none of that. I don't care about anything. I don't care if he's in contempt of court. I don't care if he's failing to pay child support for a very meager amount, which defies math. I don't care about none of that. I only care about feeling my feelings because you tried to go around me based on what your attorney and the police said. She didn't even let me say the police. I said an attorney, and she cut me off. Don't do that because you missed what happened. And guess what? My children end up hurt and dead. Where are you going to be at, Judge Williams? Where's your judicial officer going to be at? Because I'm going to sue the crap out of the both of you. One of y'all already been reported to JQC. His attorney got a bar complaint from me. I mailed it last week. You want to sit here and keep lying on somebody, and you think that, I get attorneys are going to lie, but make it good. You know, I get attorneys are going to do whatever they can to try to win, but at least make it reasonable. Don't go to court, and when I ask for evidence on those false allegations that are highly defamatory, sit there and say, well, I don't have any evidence. I mean, I'm just going based on what they said. But my son is crying in videos, coming to court with me, wanting to talk to the judge, and you don't want to hear from the children directly? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. I hope that YouTuber get this video. There's a whole channel called Make It Make Sense. Please post my video up. Make it make sense. How do you do that? How does this happen? This has got to be the most ridiculous, backward, asinine thing ever. No evidence. But yet, we're going to dictate custody based on reasons. A complaint, no evidence. He said so. What? My son comes to court. I have a TPO, police body camera footage, evidence, text messages, emails. Oh, no, we don't care about that. You trying to go around me. I was just, oh, my God, my God, my God. I have been horribly disappointed. You know, I think he doesn't care. If he cared, they went out there and told their dad, we want to stay here tonight. My oldest son said, I want to stay here tonight and just go back to you tomorrow. My youngest son, he sent me a text message saying, I want to stay here till Sunday. First he said Saturday, then he said Sunday. Either way, they went out there and told their dad. And he still said, I don't care. We need to put this order in place. That's all he worried about. Not the kids, though. And all of that was captured on the officer's body camera footage. All of that has been captured on body camera. So I just, there are no words. I think this has been so exhausting. This whole process is stupid. My child is upset. He's really upset. He's calling me like, why didn't you just tell the police that? I did. And it's on the police body camera footage. So I want to get a copy of that police body camera video. Like I said, it should not take something to happen to a child. And not just in Georgia, anywhere in the U.S. When our legal system is designed to set up to allow people to have, you know, a fair hearing, due process with a alleged impartial judge that's not supposed to be biased. I don't care if a judge hangs out with an attorney after work. I don't care what you all do. I don't care if you're friends. I don't care if you're besties. It should never, ever find its way in a court hearing. It should not be obvious that you two are well acquainted with each other, to where the judge can't seem to tell that attorney, your client makes 6 figures and gets VA benefits. He's paying child support. Which is crazy because he's still ordered to do it even with primary physical custody. He's still ordered to pay the child support, and the amount's so low. I mean, it's hard to like justify revoking it. Because he makes over $40,000 a year more than I do with all his income. Fringe and monetary benefits is still income when you're calculating child support. So he can't even justify not still paying it with primary physical custody. It doesn't make sense. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. And not once have I taken him to court, even when I had a new and material change. Having that involuntary loss of income, being laid off, that's not something to glorify or to be happy about. I never want him to lose his job. What good would that do? The kids won't be able to, because he won't be able to afford nowhere to live, anything like that. What good would that do? Can't pay help with child support or anything. So what good would it do for me to sit here and secretly wish that he loses his job, or falsely accuse him of failing to maintain employment because he gets furloughed? Do I get to file a false complaint saying he's failing to maintain employment when the government has a furlough? How do you get to do that when there is a layoff due to a reduction in force? One of it was based on COVID. How does this happen if all the parents that got laid off during COVID lost custodial rights because someone alleged that they couldn't maintain employment? Do you know what type of judicial crisis that this country would have hit? 2/3 of this country would have lost custody of their kids because businesses shut down. Businesses had to do layoffs. Businesses had to reduce their workforce because of a global pandemic. This is what I mean by heartless and soulless. And yet they can't produce evidence to show cause of harassment and favoritism allegations. Something I will never do. I have 2 children that I love, I'm proud of, and want both. I never want the kids to go to their dad, but I don't have a choice because that's their dad and they need both parents. They need to be able to see both parents. They need to have access to both parents. And he has to understand that laws and rules don't bend around him. You're lying your way through a court hearing. You're lying your way through a modification case when I'm asking for the evidence on it. And you can't produce that. They're more offended at being compelled to do interrogatories. Because I've been asking for this since October when I was pro se, and they ignored my email request and my request for productions, for discovery. So since they ignored it, now they're compelled to send it. They got a demand letter from me and my attorney on December 4th or December 14th. Ignored it. Disrespectful to my attorney. This is why I was telling the police officer, you can't say my attorney should talk to his attorney because his attorney doesn't care about nothing. She cares about nothing. She said, I don't have any skin in the game. She only cares about winning. She says dumb things that make no sense to no one. I guess but herself, whatever voice is in her head. Doesn't make sense. But you got every other person outside looking in with a brain that sees exactly what this other parent is trying to do. You're trying to avoid paying child support when you're still left to pay it despite getting primary custody yesterday or the day. When it was signed on the 18th, I didn't get the notification till the 19th. What is going on? So, and then the judicial officer talks about, this is going back to the hearing on November 12th. The hearing was on November 13th. I know because I was promised a motions hearing that you still did not grant me, Judge Emily Brunner. Is it judicial officer Emily Brunner or Judge Emily Brunner? I don't know. But the notice of hearing says motions hearing on it. And you didn't allow me to present one motion. I couldn't even hear what you were saying. I told you I was having audio issues. I made that clear. Here's the problem. We don't have a court of record. Even when I sent emails out trying to get a court reporter, outside the court. Because when the court reporter for the court is not available, you got to go get a consultant or a contractor. But his attorney wouldn't even respond to emails, would not provide any input or insight to help get a court reporter. We have no court of record. So me even saying what was said and not said in court is irrelevant when you don't have a transcript or a video to actually suffice for that. It comes down to my word versus yours, unfortunately. Which is why that judge should have never signed that daggone temporary custody order. You signed something based on false allegations. You lied and said that I rejected parenting plan options when my attorney and I came to a mediation offering to keep the status quo, joint physical and legal custody, and 50-50 parenting time to keep the parenting plan consistent with the children so that they don't feel like their life is disrupted, to keep things consistent with them. And you want to sit here and say, you were taken off my case on December 4th. The mediation we were ordered to do by Judge Shamila Williams occurred on December 27th. So when you didn't have all the facts, Judge Emily Brenner, to do this temporary order, why would you do it? Or at least say, you know what has happened since then? Let me read everything before I go typing this dumb crap up that is inherently false, to which she can literally prove evidence to show otherwise. So before I say that she denied and rejected parenting options, which I was never offered, but we don't have a court of record, so I can't say that. Let me see if anything happened after November 13th. Yes, we were ordered to mediate, and my attorney and I came with a proposed order. Maintain the status quo with custody in the parenting plan, 50-50 custody. But you didn't see that. Did you ask for a copy of anything? Did you read anything after that? No, you didn't. Your verbal ruling, I'm going to adopt the recommendation of the court-appointed social worker who gave me a recommendation in writing and then decide not to do that at all for reasons. He alleged she trying to pull her own two children apart because of favoritism to which they can't prove. No one is thinking about this logically. How preponderance of evidence, correct me if I'm wrong, based on the average person. What does the average person see? If we had a jury hearing, now we got to have one because I'm filing a whole appeal. I told you I'm prepared to go all the way to the highest court in the land. Whether I can afford to do it or not is irrelevant at this point. Because what you don't do is play with people's children. Don't play with my kids. Don't play when it comes to my children with me. Don't do that. You want to prove a point, you better find another way to prove it. Send me a text. Send me an email. Prove your point that way. How about prove your argument by producing some evidence? You're harassed? Oh no. It takes embarrassment to get people's attention. Videos have to go viral now to get a court's attention, to bring attention to where children are being abused. Is not just physical either. It can be emotional and mental and psychological. Their father's trying to alienate them. So when you have what's this narcissistic personality, alienation, parental alienation going on, which is a real diagnosis, it's a real thing. That syndrome, guess what? He doesn't care that it's hurting my son, either of them. He only cares about getting his way. He cares about how does this hurt their mother? Because like that police officer said, when you have wisdom and understanding, there's certain people you're just not meant to procreate with. I realized that I had been married for 12 years and 2 kids late. But I got it together. I learned. Sometimes you have to say, maybe we were never meant to be together. But we got 2 kids. We got the co-parent. Nope. He wants to keep dragging me in court. And then get mad when I actually fight back. They're insulted and offended at me actually reading a rule or a law and filing a motion. The judge is in her feelings because of a TPO that I was advised to do by cops and my attorney. Why would they advise me to do something that would piss off a judge? A chief judge at that. Why are you upset about it? Is the bigger question. When two police officers and an attorney advised me to do it, and I still told them that you were the judge over a modification case. I still told AVLF that. You can ask them when I went on January 8th. Go ask them. Call down and ask them. You and your staff senior attorney, y'all called to AVLF and asked them. Then she came in here on January 8th. This girl in this video here. Do y'all remember seeing her? Did she tell y'all there was an open modification case? And you're like, yeah, she did. She told us that. We actually sent it to you because she said that. So you got the TPO, Judge Williams, because I told them that there was an open modification case for custody assigned to you. Make it make sense. Y'all not even doing things that are logical. You're talking about from a hearing from November 13th. Why in the world would this judicial officer no longer assigned to my case because of her biasness and failure to remain impartial, because she's buddy with the opposing counsel, want to sign anything 5 months later with no facts to back up anything that she alleged in this stupid order? It's temporary. Who cares? It shouldn't exist. Because it's a disruption to the children. Because my son was just crying over it. Now where is Judge Williams and Judge Emily Brenner going to be at when these videos come out and they see my son crying, begging not to go to his dad's house? Please don't force me to go to a police officer on his body camera footage. Where are they going to be at? Look what you've done temporarily. What if he decides, I'm just going to butcher my kids tonight because I'm not getting out. They don't want to be here. You have no idea, and neither do I, what goes on in that man's household with my own 2 children. He doesn't even tell me when they got doctor's appointments. He objected to my children getting exams and sessions and stuff. And then he schedules it. Oh, it's a eureka moment. Why would you object when I scheduled it? What difference does it make if they need to go to a doctor? They're going. No. Nobody sees that as an issue at all. He interfered with custody twice because of that. But yet he schedules these same appointments. Oh, well, I'm being a good dad. Look at me. I'm being such a good dad because I'm scheduling them. They were already going, idiot. But nobody said anything to him about that. Why are you interfering, sir? Why are you objecting to this? What's wrong with you? Nobody thought that was a problem with him interfering with custody. That is a state statute. That is a chargeable offense. Interference with custody is a chargeable offense. It can be charged as a misdemeanor and even a felony. Think you gonna cross state lines with my children interfering with custody? Yeah, no, that's FBI territory. You cross state lines and interstate, those interstate crimes like that become federal. And that's when the FBI gets involved. Good luck to that. I can't understand this. I can't understand this. You got good parents out here suffering for no reason at the hands of another parent because of stupidity, because of buffoonery. This case has to be the biggest clown show ever. But guess what? 2 judges don't give a crap and deny me due process because their feelings are hurt. Whatever. You're not caring about my children, so I care nothing about your feelings. And this happens all the time. How many times you see in the news and hear cases? I was just watching a hearing earlier where this man took his own son's life, 4-year-old son's life. Whole city was looking for this child. And when he finally gets an interview to try to tell his side of the story, he's just saying, that's stupid. That's stupid. Why are they saying he's doing that? He's not answering the questions directly. I asked directly, where's the evidence to prove these allegations on here? We don't have it. And yet, these judges and attorneys that went to law school, I guess they're supposed to be geniuses. Yeah, we're still going to change custody though, because he claimed you showed favoritism with no evidence. Do you all not hear the stupidity and the buffoonery in that? Where's the logic in that? You want to be insulted? You should be insulted at this case making its way to a chief judge who was then more offended at a TPO still being sent to her. Because I said that it was a open modification case to a whole agency that did the petition for me, where my son and I came to court and he wanted to talk to this judge. He was scared to go to school. I have police body camera footage of his dad grabbing him and standing in the doorway and defying lawful commands. The police had to threaten him and said, I'm going to call my supervisor out here if you don't stop doing this. And this going to happen either way. The police had to threaten to call the supervisor out there to get him to stop doing that nonsense he was doing. And it's on body camera footage. And this judge is more offended at the TPO still going to you. It still landed in your lap. And what did you do with it? Nothing. You just denied it outright because you feel insulted. Never mind my son. So this is how you end up with lawsuits with parents like me saying, I'm going to scorch the earth if something happened to my kids. I'm suing everybody because you ignored us when we tried to come to you for help. You didn't care when we asked you to listen to us. Listen to my children. Let them talk to you. They're old enough to talk to you without either parent present. They don't need me in the room. He could have went in your chambers, Judge Williams, and talked to you until you just said, I can't take it no more. And would have told you everything that's going on. You denied him that, and then you want to sit here and get slighted because a TPO still went to you. It still came to you. Oh, the thought of it going to another judge is offensive. Oh, no. Oh, no. My Lord. My Lord. As I roll my eyes and my neck at that. My Lord. Nope. They're going to be more offended at me doing videos than anything else. That's the, oh, Lord, that's the laughable part about this. When I tell you at the end of the day, they're still going to be more insulted. I can't believe you did the videos because of embarrassment. Because that's a thing. Because embarrassment is a thing. Nobody likes to be embarrassed. But this is why parents like myself, we end up having to come to YouTube. I've been fighting this battle since June of last year. I've lost my dad, who died to prostate cancer, July 6th of last year. I had to battle being unemployed and find another job. Got to a point finances was so tight, man, I was looking at an eviction. I can say nobody but God protected me and kept me here. I even set up a GoFundMe to help raise attorney's fees. And let me tell y'all something. I take that seriously. I think I may have raised $55. It did go to attorney's fees. It went to the attorney I had on December 4th. $55, I still end up paying him around $2,100. So trust me, it went there. I have the receipts. Y'all still want to see them. I meant that. I got all the invoices. Now I have to get another attorney. That's going to be more attorney's fees. May have to appeal this all the way to the Supreme Courthouse. Man, let me tell you something. That's not going to be cheap. But for your kids, you think about it like this. Aside from having a place to live, if I got to spend all the rest of my bill money to keep my kids and to get my children, I'm going to do that. I can't stand when people say, don't worry about it. It's going to be okay. Just let them know. Because I don't know what's going on over there with them. Their dad trying to alienate them. He raising his fist to my youngest son, threatening to hurt him and punch him and do all this stuff over a pot. What the heck is going on? And the police officer that did the police report We're gonna have to get him to come testify to that, because he typed up the police report. My son just opened up and told him everything, because he finally felt. This is when I went to the police station on January 8th. My son finally felt someone's listening to me. I'm listening to my children, and I'm crying out on their behalf in court. And look what happens. False allegations that can't be proven somehow is what rules at the end of the day. Judges feeling slighted. Oh no, she combative. I don't know why you expect me to be happy when y'all are sitting here challenging my custody over allegations that are defamatory. He put that on a petition. When you put statements on a petition, you're doing it under the penalty of perjury. And those documents are available to the public. He feels nothing about doing that. Didn't care. That could have been the reason why it took 8 months for me to get back to work. You want to say I failed to maintain employment, but yet when I was laid off, I got another job. Funny how that works. Funny how failure to maintain employment and yet and still what you're seeing is me getting another job. And it's never taken 8 months. Since I had my kids, it never took me 8 months to get another job. And it was between 6 weeks to 2-3 months. And yet the father didn't help me with anything. He didn't ask, hey, instead of you trying to, can you please not file a modification on child support against me? I never did that. Didn't have time. But I did my answer and counterclaim when he filed the stupid case against me. Don't expect me not to defend myself. Him and his attorney want me to just ignore that I have rights in these United States of America. A country to which his attorney really wasn't born here, but whatever. I don't care about that. I really don't. You've been practicing law for over 30 years. Everybody has rights. Where do you get off getting mad because I'm exercising mine? I'm exercising my right to a fair hearing. Exercise my right to have my case transferred to the actual presiding judge, not to a judicial officer, because she doesn't know how to be impartial. Because y'all friends. You shouldn't want to give me a reason to file an appeal, counselor. And now you have. And guess what? Like the police officer told your dumb client today, everything that happened today was recorded on the police body camera footage, including my son being upset and crying. My oldest son, my youngest son telling the dad, we want to stay here. Him saying, no, I just want the order effectuated. I've been waiting for a long time for this. For what? Your kids will still end up crying and upset at the end of the day? How long have you been waiting for that? That sounds really sick in the head to me. Are you kidding? This is why we got to do videos. For things to go viral. Before something happens to my children in a home, I have no clue what's going on there. I can't see what he's saying and doing to my kids. I don't know if he's showing favoritism and hurting and abusing my youngest son, because he really cried and was upset more than my oldest son. Both of them didn't want to go. Both of them wanted to stay here. I want both my babies. I have good kids. They're really good kids. They're sweet kids, good kids. They still like hugging mama, spending time with me, watching videos with me, having a good laugh. I love my kids to death. I will reshift the gravitational pull of this planet on my kids. I will appeal you to the United States Supreme Court over my kids. You forget I have the right to do that. I told them I was going to file an appeal. I said, y'all do this, I'm going to file an appeal. How you going to set an order that's different from your verbal ruling, and then you don't tell anybody why you changing this stuff up, and you don't have evidence to even support the statements you put in an order? Where's your court of record? I'm just literally like, you realize that we didn't even have a court reporter. Nothing was recorded on video. None of that. And if it is, then we really get to show you saying one thing verbally and then turn around and put something else in a hearing, in a court order, not caring about my children at all. You didn't care about that. My kids didn't want that. What I have been saying to maintain the status quo with joint legal and physical custody And 50-50 parenting time is exactly what my kids want. My oldest son never told me he wanted to stay primarily with his dad. They forced him to sign an affidavit of election. My oldest son has simply said, I just want to be able to spend time with my dad alone, sometimes without my little brother, a one-on-one with my dad. And anytime he's asked, I say yes. Yes, that's fine. Go ahead and do that. When I had to send the police out there to his house on January 5th, my oldest son had asked to stay that weekend, and I still let him. It was my parenting time. I didn't have to do that, but I did because I'm not trying to disturb my kids like that. My son asked again last month, in February, if he could stay the extra weekend with his dad. I said, fine. I have text messages. You want to come home Sunday or Monday? I'll stay over there Monday. Okay. And it was my parenting time. I didn't do any of that because I don't understand why. What would be the point in that and have him upset for no reason? But yet that father never lets them come here. He defies the court order where I have parenting time. I had to send police to his house to get my son. And yet no one sees anything wrong with that. So if you're more offended at me doing a video and this bad boy going viral, I pray to God it does. I hope every single associate Supreme Court judge sees this video. I hope the Chief Justice of the United States of America sees this video. I really hope every single judge that deals with family court sees this video, because what you all are neglecting is what is in the best interest of the kids. I don't need a court to tell me how to be a mother. I don't need a court to tell me how much parenting time and custodial rights I have of my own kids that I gave birth to, that I have raised and taken care of since the day they came out of me. He shouldn't need a court order to tell him he got to pay child support, because that's math. But unfortunately, because he needs a court to tell him how to be daddy, I'm being dragged through this nonsense because I am the children's mother. Not because I want to. And if I don't fight back, this could be way worse than what it is. Maybe there's a reason why Judge Brenner left it so vague and ambiguous. You think his attorney cares about reading? No, she does not. She doesn't care about producing evidence. She certainly doesn't care about discovery. Like, she was exempted from turning in interrogatories. How does that happen? Now you've waived your right to object. You all don't understand at the end of the day how this thing can just collapse on you. You giving me a case for an appeal to go over your heads because you two cared more about your feelings, your friend relationship, than an attorney. Oh, she was combative. I'm not combative, but I'm not going to sit here and just say, oh, okay, no, you're right, Judge. I'm just going to, when you don't even give me the chance to present a motion, you give me 2 hearings that the notice of hearing says motions hearings on it. You promised me 2 hearings twice, and you don't let me present a motion? What is going on in Fulton County? What is happening here in Fulton County? They don't have a problem like overseeing these cases with Donald Trump, but they sure don't care about you trying to show them a police body camera footage of your child being grabbed and alienated and hurt and abused by the other parent in front of cops, where they had to threaten him to have a supervisor come out if he didn't release one of them, and they show parenting time. And he's more concerned about being vindictive or retaliatory than my son is crying and bawling out, begging not to go. And I hear him in the house. Oh, it was recorded on police body camera footage. Jesus Christ. Never mind that. Judges more offended at, no, you try to go over my head. Girl, you're the chief judge. You were elected. You did videos asking for votes. Asking for people to vote for you. This is why we don't vote identity politics. Nope. I want to know what type of record you have. I want want to know if you're going to sit here and be more offended at the thought of someone doing something that they did not do than actually administering justice and being fair and giving fair hearings. I asked for a trial. I still want a trial, a trial by jury. I'm sorry. I still want a trial by jury. I want a jury trial because I can't trust your ruling. I can't trust your judgment. No, I don't want a stranger to tell me what custody I have and don't have. But yet when we are ordered to mediate and then the other parent comes in demanding primary physical custody, and I'm sitting here saying, I'm still saying give us joint physical custody and legal custody and keep 50-50 parenting time. He still have to pay a little bit more than money in child support. He has too much income. It greatly exceeds mine by a whole nother income. $40,000 a year is income for a whole nother person. You still be like broke as hell, but it's still a whole income. And yet it's still, they more offended about a TPO that police officers and an attorney advised me to file when I still went to AVLF and said, hey, I want you all to know I have an open modification case. Judge Williams is presiding over the case. Okay, well, we'll just send it to her. She has the first rights of refusal. See, I wouldn't be saying these terms if I wasn't told that. Because I ain't go to law school. I'm not looking this stuff up. I was told that, lady, Your Honor. You have first rights of refusal. That's why I went to you. There you go. Look at God. They're bringing that to my remembrance. You have first rights of refusal. So that means even if I file the petition, by me being honest and open with them and saying, because I didn't have to say anything, I have an open modification case. Guess what? You have first rights of refusal. You have first dibs. That's why you got the TPO petition. Because you have first rights of refusal. You get to say, I want to hear the matter. And you didn't hear the matter. You didn't talk to my son. So why do you care? You didn't care about doing that. You didn't care about my son on January 8th. So why do you care now? Why are you offended? Why? Why, Lord, is she offended? Please tell me, Jesus, why an elected judge who is chief judge of Fulton County Family Court deciding matters regarding children offended. But if something happened to these kids, where is she going to be at? Where is she going to be at if he does something to my child or either of my children? Because he's not getting what he wants. Where's she going to be at? Who going to hold her accountable for a horrible ruling? For allowing a judicial officer who my attorney and I said we don't want touching this case because she has failed to remain impartial. She's been biased. She has denied me 2 motions hearings and did not allow me due process. You denied me due process, Judge Emily Brenner. I've noticed the hearings where you promised me 2 motions hearings and you never allowed me to present a motion. That is a denial of due process at its finest. And you got the audacity to say I'm supposed to be okay with baseless allegations of favoritism and harassment on legal court documents being filed against me, to which they can produce no evidence. Why am I the only one logically thinking through this? How much more law school do you need to come to those conclusions? Jesus Christ. This is our court system, ladies and gentlemen. And those same judges and judicial officers go duck and hide when something ends up happening to those kids, because parents like this person with narcissism, parental alienation, all this nonsense, don't care the children are crying. I don't care. I want this order effectuated. Does something to the children. Abuses them, doing things to them in a household I can't see. I don't know what's happening over there. Unless he presents some videos, home videos, where he's got everything recorded in every room in that house. And he comes to court with all those videos. I have no idea what he's doing over there with them. And neither do you, Judge Brenner. Neither do you, Judge Williams. Neither does his attorney. Heifer, you act like you're not going to get paid your money. You realize you could take your client to court and get a contempt for attorney's fees. So you don't need to do this thinking, well, he may not pay my invoice if he loses. No, he's got to pay your invoice. You can have that go against his credit and have it reported to credit bureaus, which I'm sure you would do. Because she's more consumed with her having a gym and doing flying tricks on social media, Instagram. Y'all ought to look at that. It's disturbing to me. Maureen McLeod. Instagram and the other one. Twitter, X, whatever it is. 10, I don't know. Oh, disturbing. It's not what you expect a bar licensed attorney in 2 states and here in the United States of America to be posting up on her social media. It's just disturbing. Your photos are very disturbing, lady, for you to be bar certified and licensed. But no, they're going to be more upset about that, about my video, than the facts of this case. Than my children, than my son crying. You're like, oh, we're concerned about the best of the children. Okay, so that police body camera footage that I'm about to foyer from the nice officer, Campbell, today, where my son is bawling out, or my video, part 1, where he is begging not to go. That's the best interest. Where are you all going to be there if he hurts my kids? You don't have an effective date on this order? He talking about my kids ain't coming home the next week Thursday. It says Thursday to Sunday. It don't say when it should start. I get 1 night a week with them. It says that they have the opportunity to come. I'm going to read it. And you want to sit here and talk. Y'all want to talk about the best interests of my children. Funny how that works when they ain't helping pay for uniforms and food. I don't do none of that. You lying about me getting opportunity to have motions heard. 2 hearings, November 6th and November 13th. Hearings scheduled for motions hearings. And you denied me the opportunity to present a motion. So you denied me due process. Own up to it if you're going to do all that dumb stuff. Just own up to it. Yes, I'm petty. I felt offended because I thought that you were trying to give another judge a TPO case. Are you kidding? Now I'm really not going to care when I file an appeal because it's going to go to a whole nother court. Are you kidding? That's your concern? It's going to go to a whole nother court, lady. It's not going to go to you. It's going to go to a whole nother court with an appeal. Do things right. You got all these videos, Judge Williams, where you're begging for votes and you're saying Fulton County needs a judge that here serves Fulton County. And you can't even care about my son wanting to talk to you. Because his dad is mistreating him and he don't want to be with him. Because he wants to live with me primarily. But no, you're for Fulton County. I don't even know what's worse at this point. These two or anything going on with that Superman Dalton with that girl Tiffany Henyard. Good God in heaven. Yes, I've compared you both to Tiffany Henyard. I don't know what's worse. The only difference is they may or may not be stealing money. Otherwise, nobody's using good judgment on anything. Both children will have the right to see their mother when they so desire. And the father agreed in open court that was not recorded. No court of record. So he can say, I ain't said it. Guess what? How you going to prove it? That he would not interfere with communication between the children and their mother or with the ability to spend time with their mother. So if my children today who said, I want to spend time with my mom and stay here overnight, why does he come here with the police saying, oh no, I don't want them to stay here. It's my parenting time. How do you have that paragraph and then the next paragraph, mother shall have parenting time with the children every other weekend from Thursday evening after school or at 5 p.m. if school is not in session to Sunday evening at 5 p.m. Mother will pick up the minor children from school when school is in session and return them to father at a meeting place agreed upon by the parties on Sunday afternoon. Monday, mother should have dinner one night per week with one child 1 week. This is what it actually says. I'm literally reading the words. Mother shall have dinner one night per week with one child 1 week, and the other the next week, such that mother has time alone with both children. So I said to the officer today, it's on his police body camera footage. Okay, fine. Make this my dinner night with my youngest son. Since he's upset, I'm just trying to get him to calm down. Right now, he doesn't want to go. So make this my dinner night. How about enforce the first paragraph where it says both children will have the right to see their mother when they so desire? Enforce that part. I didn't read no effective date as to when this should start. It doesn't say every other Thursday to Sunday on first and third weekends. No, it does not. No. Don't know when the heck that's supposed to happen. What if that happens? What if it's supposed to happen this Thursday while I have my children this Thursday to Sunday? The father saying, oh no, it's supposed to be next week. Where you see that at in order? Those words are not even typed in there. Then he's trying to say my oldest son comes home every other Friday. My youngest come home every other Thursday. That's not there either. Mother will pick up the minor children. It doesn't say one child versus the other. Nope. From school, when school is in session, and return them to father at a meeting place agreed upon. Don't say what Thursday is supposed to start. Don't say this starts this week. Well, she gets them this Thursday. On March. What's this Thursday? March 21st. Nope. Nope. Just says signed on March 18th. I didn't get this email till March 19th. Today. Fulton County is the worst. We need to be careful who we vote for. We need people who are going to see things and be impartial and not allow their personal feelings to come in because they felt slighted about something when they got first rights of refusal for a TPO hearing. When I told AVLF that this open modification case was a thing for some reason, to which the opposing counsel can't produce evidence to prove any of their allegations on, that are highly defamatory. So when I file a lawsuit for defamation, libel, and perjury against them, I don't want to hear nobody's mouth. I want both judges to shut up. Don't say a word to me. Don't complain about it. This video goes viral. Take it like a champion. You want to be offended at some TPO that still landed in your lap because I made sure of it, because I told AVLF that this case was assigned to you, that there was an open modification case pending, that you have first rights of refusal? You want to make it seem like I tried to go around you when that's not possible, when you have first rights of refusal, because that's common sense and logic right now? I don't need to go to law school to make these statements. When you want to do that, don't say nothing when I file a lawsuit for defamation, libel, and perjury against the opposing party. When I file an appeal and go over your head. When this reaches the Supreme Court House. I pray to God that this goes viral to that point. I pray to God that any other parent going through this nonsense does not have to feel the frustration and the pain and the agony of seeing their child cry. Begging, please don't force me to go. And then they got to wake up the next day and find out their children are no longer here because the other parent did something to them and they weren't there to protect them because the court thought it would be in the child's best interest not to allow me to have my own children. Don't say nothing. Keep shutting the hell up like you've been doing and not giving a crap when I have to start taking drastic actions for the sake of my children. I don't want to hear a word from Judge Emily Brenner or Judge Shamila Williams of Fulton County. Just throw your hands up in the air like you've been doing and say, okay. Don't say a word after you've denied me due process. Promise me hearings, scheduled hearings, and then tell me I can't present a motion. Don't say nothing. Fulton County is the worst. You people should be ashamed of yourselves. Both of these judges need to be removed and recused. Just send it over to another judge. You don't want to deal with this Judge Shamila Williams? Fine. Send it to a different dang on judge and go on somewhere. I'm sure you have a heavy caseload. You can care less about my little old case and my little old children. Send it to another case, to another judge. It's 2 more presiding judges for Fulton County Family Court. Send it to a different judge. Or you know what? Let this happen where it goes over your head with an appeal. Just let it happen. It goes over your head. All right. Fine. Take it to the Supreme Court House. That's one less headache. You let a judicial officer come back and put falsities in an order? And this is filed with the court? Then you tell me if I appeal it in the discovery dispute. If you appeal it, it's going to prolong the case. I don't think y'all care about that. You don't care about that at all. Because you ain't even heard my child speak. So don't come at me with that nonsense. You don't care, lady. I'm going to get the police body camera footage. Thank you, Officer Campbell, for having your body camera on, for trying to mediate this situation today, this very dumb situation. Doing the best you can. Maureen McLeod, if you ever call my phone again and come at me like I'm your daughter, like you paying my bills, it's going to be me and you all day. I've already reported you to the bar. And I'm going to add that on to my complaint. You calling me on my phone, making demands, and then hang up the phone in my face rude and disrespectfully. You're the worst. You're not a good attorney. You suck. You're just not. You're not a good attorney. I would never hire you to represent me. So don't ever call me and come for me like I do. Like I would actually think of you to represent me. I'd rather have a dead cockroach represent me in court than you. And your social media posts and pictures are all still disturbing. That's went to the Bar Association today. I'm sure they all agree with that. You're falsifying information and claims. You're lying, and then you fail to do interrogatories and statutory requirements for discovery material. You can't even produce evidence, and somebody's supposed to take you seriously. And you call me and disrespect me like that, you out of your mind. I'm not your daughter, lady. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you call yourself. You have no integrity. None. Because you see this as skin in the game and nothing more. So keep saying that when I file my appeals, and I'm going to keep filing all the way up there to the highest court in the land. Because you just bother me with my children. When you can't even represent another client in a hearing, when they're the victim, you still suck. I'm going to, this is Fulton County. Y'all need more judges on the bench. Y'all need judges on the bench that's not going to sit here and say good things to get votes and then can't deliver on nothing else. And then the judicial officers did not do process to people. Everybody want to sit here and take things personally. You're taking my custodial rights and telling me I can't see my own kids except on these days with the most pettiest bald-headed grown man on earth. I don't care how you feel at this point. I really don't. I really don't. Because you didn't care about our son crying to the cop and myself on his police body camera footage. It was recorded on the police body camera footage of him begging not to be forced to go to your house. You're trying to come between me and my own children. You're lying and falsely accusing me of things you can't even prove when I demand the evidence on it. You're doing this to be spiteful, and you don't care about how it affects the kids. You're soulless. You're heartless. You don't give a crap about our children. You don't care about my babies at all. You care about attacking and hurting me. And what you forced me to do is to learn how to read a court rule, a law, and write a motion. I'll see you in court.